Good, because it already started recording.
Yeah, I'm good. This extra shot of tequila makes me extra
When
good.
you have this Samsung S23 Ultra, when you go like this, it just starts recording the video. So you got to be ready. And see if I can get this contrast locked on me so I don't disappear. We're sitting here. This is the best location that we have so far. We were going to actually record at Soul Bar or whatever that other restaurant was, but the music was pretty loud. I didn't want to get a copyright strike. We ended up going inside of Margaritaville. They can still see that. I saw your whole
She gave me
hand.
the world's smallest French fry.
Look at that fry. Where'd that one come from? And we went to Margaritaville. Obviously, the music was way too loud in there, but it was also a little cramped. So we're going to shift this conversation
I'll
here
remember this for the rest of your life.
at the concession stand here. What is this place called?
Concession stand.
Cafeteria. What is this?
I don't
Food
know.
court. Food court.
But there's
Food
shops
court
in it, but it is
inside
like a
of
food court.
Navy Pier. Don't knock my camera over. You're like Max.
Well, at least you won't puke on it. Like Max
I think
did.
a few people might actually do that today.
Here?
There's some people who have been drinking heavily
And some have been doing more than drinking.
while
heavily.
walking through Navy Pier.
Yeah,
We've seen a lot.
we've seen a lot.
And a lot of this will be on Squirrel Tribe Life if you want to see the travels. But what we saw, I think, was shocking. In comparison to what we have been trained to expect to see.
I agree completely.
I sent you an email. I need you to pull it up.
Still
Because
got 8 minutes remaining on mine.
it's got everything I need to talk about on there, but I'm recording on my phone.
Well,
I didn't
did you
bring my
send me an email?
MacBook. Squirrel Tribe, Gmail. I didn't bring my MacBook
Oh.
Air. We're traveling light today. And with that being said, we don't have a lot of time because we do have a dinner reservation in about an hour. So we're gonna make this one pretty quick. We got a dinner reservation in an hour, and you want to do some more souvenir shopping before we go. And the dinner reservation is at Hampton Social. So you haven't been to Hampton Social before. I have in Nashville, Tennessee, but I saw that there was one here right down the street in Chicago. So we're going to go to Hampton Social. There's a Doc B's, which we experienced
I
Doc
really
B's
like
for the
Doc
first time in
B's.
Tampa. That was cool, but we're not going to do Doc B's. I want to take you to Hampton Social.
Was it as fancy in Nashville as it is here?
Doc B's?
No, Hampton Social.
Hampton Social, look, it looks like that, but in
price?
Nashville,
Yeah.
they're going in there with little pum-pum shorts on and cowboy boots. Like, it ain't like that. It ain't like that.
Well, like the
When-
pictures and the menu look like it's kind of hoity-toity.
All right, well, we talked about this just a minute ago and how titles and thumbnails lead you to believe one thing,
Yeah.
only to watch the video to realize that it's something completely different.
Yeah.
Do not judge a book by its cover. And I think Hampton Social is no exception.
Okay. Because I was looking at that lobster roll and I was like, ooh. Oh,
Yeah, I don't think it's any exception. And if for some reason we don't meet dress code, I'll say, but do you know who she is? And they'll be like, oh, excuse me, sorry, Squirrel Tribe, right this way. They will. They will. Everybody asks, what is Squirrel Tribe? I don't have my shirt on today. They're like, what is Squirrel Tribe? They all want to know.
That's true.
I thought that's what the lady's going to ask you at Margaritaville, but she asked you what the frozen things were.
Yeah. Same.
What are they called? Frozen
Dragon's breath? Dragon cereal? What's it called? Dragon cereal? She's got headphones in. She's not hearing.
She's not hearing.
But she also got her Grimace shake.
All these
from
gimmicks.
McDonald's.
All these gimmicks.
Yeah.
It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money.
And her face, it's a waste of flavor. But she's drinking it, so.
Nonetheless, we have made our way further up north. Look, I'm about to get into my script reading voice because I wrote this as a script, but I decided I didn't really want to read it as a script. So
Yeah.
we're gonna pull this joker apart. We're gonna
Okay.
rip this. We're gonna rip this apart because we have some important topics to discuss, and
She's so pretty.
she is very pretty.
Yeah.
She's
She's tall and blonde, and her outfit's cute, and her face was pretty. She's like girl next door pretty, kind of,
right.
but like if you were Norwegian.
No, I gotta give
Or
you that one
Swedish.
versus you saying, man, she's really ugly. Like, you would never say that,
No.
but you'd only say they're pretty.
Yes.
So that's interesting because you will only say when someone's really pretty, but you won't say when they're really ugly.
I'll think it though.
And these titles and thumbnails that we see portrayed on this platform typically go that direction.
The ugly?
Yeah. So when you put out the pretty, people don't want that. People don't want the pretty. They don't want the happy. They don't want the smiles.
That's
they
what
don't
I
want the
figured out on
enjoyment.
2.0 today, and that channel is because they want happy and fun. But they didn't like the happy title.
What was the comment you just read? Something about it's all fine and good when you have your life together or something like that? When everything goes your way?
Be respectful of people who don't have it. I'm like,
but that's
then
just
why are
it.
you
That's
watching?
just
like,
it.
why should I have to dumb down or tone down my happiness to make you feel better about your lack of
but
happiness?
they are also assuming that everything goes our way.
That's definitely not true, though.
But Jordan Welch, he said something very important. He said on a community post or on Instagram, one or the other, he goes, everything that happens in your life is neither good nor bad.
It's all how you perceive it.
It's all based on your own perception.
Yeah, and I prefer to look at things as something I've learned and move on from, as opposed to something bad that happened to me, because I don't want to be that person who just sits and wallows in my own shit all the time and then dumps it on other people. I'd rather look at it and go, man, that sucks. All right, don't let that shit happen again, and keep going and smile.
I'm not a big complainer.
Not at all.
I'm not a big complainer.
Not at all.
The biggest thing that I possibly would have ever complained about was food. And after C19, I said, you know what? As long as you bring me food, I don't even care if it's what I ordered. And if it's lukewarm, I don't even care.
Yeah.
Because of not having that ability, I don't even care anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even care anymore.
Yeah.
But I also know that a lot of people right now are probably feeling some kind of way based on how the YouTube algorithm is treating them. And you brought up a very, very, very good point earlier.
Uh-huh.
We're going to talk about that on Patreon a little bit more for folks who are interested in getting their channels to grow.
Okay.
And understanding what that means today.
Yeah,
and
it's different than 6 months ago.
what it means when you potentially compare yourself to another channel that's doing certain things, getting certain results, and you're wondering to yourself, how is this possible when we're literally almost doing the same exact thing?
What is the phrase? Comparison is the stealer or the thief of joy?
That dude's wearing a crop top.
Something like that. And he's wearing it well too.
Belly shirt.
What's that? Comparison is the thief
a little
of
navel
joy.
tuft.
Something like that.
Why do some people say belly button and some people say navel?
You just transfer? I'll tell you now anymore. You took it.
It's weird doing my left hand. I'm like, I love coloring. Remember that meme? That little boy is like, I love the color.
Oh, the black kid's like,
Yeah.
Yes, I saw that one.
You would see race. But anyway, so there's some people out there that are going to be looking at it like, man, how come? But then also there's going to be other people who want to ride your coattails. They want to leverage your success, your name, your likeness, your face, your brand. Unfortunately, it's completely misguided, and they go at it from an angle of anger and attitude and disrespect.
I saw a video where somebody was being very disrespectful, and they decided to use my facial expressions.
They weren't
and I'm
being
like,
very
it looks stupid on you, though.
They were being very
jealous?
ridiculous,
Oh,
ignorant.
I was going to go jealousy, honestly.
Sure.
But they kept trying to use my facial expressions, you know, the ones that because my face does not know how to keep itself still, that. And I was like, oh, but it looks like you're in pain when you try it.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, if my face looked like hers, I'd want to use somebody else's facial expressions too, but that's neither here nor there.
We don't use the word ugly.
No, not at all. We say, bless her heart.
Bless her heart. She probably says that a lot too.
Yeah. Probably lives in a town that ends in bull. You gotta say it like you got a mouthful of marbles.
Mouthful of marbles.
That might be the only mouthful she has. But either way, we have made our way further up north and are now taking up a short-term residence here in the Windy City, Chicago, Illinois, Chi-Town.
Unfortunately, short-term.
Chocolate City.
Oh, is that what it is?
No, it's not.
Hey.
I think once R. Kelly went to jail, he lost that title.
Longer.
It's Gotham City.
But isn't he the same one who likes to...
Oh, she's really pretty. Look at her.
See, she is.
I'm the same.
But you realize it was the same girl. Don't do that. That's like the people who have to use the trait.
No, that's how Christian Bale did Batman the whole time. Look.
I know.
No. That's because they chose to smoke, which is crazy. As I'm seeing people, we're walking down here at the pier. I see people wearing their C19 masks, trying not to get the COVID.
Yeah.
The mask is around their neck, and they're smoking cigarettes. Like, really? What are we doing here?
I think I'd rather get like the COVID.
This is the ridiculousness that is the world we live in. But regardless, this is a first for both Michelle. This is weird.
Must have you said my name.
Because I wrote it. So it says, this is a first for both Michelle, my wife, Squirrel Tribe, and me, and our daughter too, who's sitting right here, who is traveling with us this summer. And I must say, the city of Chicago is absolutely not what I had expected, and I'm completely blown away by what I've seen so far.
Yes, same. This has been my face the whole time since we've been here. Like, yeah, I need my video to go up.
You know, it's funny because New York, I don't mind New York because I'm from New York.
Yes.
But I didn't want to go to Chicago. And it's only even better that we are here after having left St. Louis.
Yeah.
Only for me to pull up that article that said St. Louis was the #1 most dangerous city in America.
Yeah.
And I had no problem going to St. Louis.
No, you had no problem.
It's all
and perception and what you listen to and who's trying to sway you in what direction or the other.
I try not to listen to too many people. I trust but verify. Believe half of what you see, none of what you hear.
They're not gonna like my video.
Honestly, most people who just yap don't have a damn clue as to what they're actually talking about.
Yeah.
But we are staying a few nights here at the Royal Sonesta Hotel. And we scored a sweet view from atop the massive skyscraper, 5-star hotel, adjacent to Trump Tower. I'm not sure if it's Trump Tower or just Trump. It just says Trump on the side. Trump Tower is New York. Trump Tower is New York.
But there's something in that Trump building, and I don't remember what it was, but I saw it when I was looking.
I think it's documents from.
That's in the bathroom. No, there's something in there, but I don't remember exactly what.
Balled up papers in the toilet. Top secret.
Toilet paper. It's fine. Use this classified document, but be careful of paper cuts.
It's either way. It's the Trump building on. It's not Wabash. It's Wacker.
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 I don't know. Wabash.
Is East Wacker?
I think so. Probably that. But the word Wabash makes me go Wabaki. What is that?
Wabaki from Tokyo Drift.
Tokyo Drift. Yeah.
Oh, we shouldn't have said it. We should have asked him because somebody actually commented yesterday and. They got really close to why the ignition is on the left-hand side of a Porsche.
Whisper it.
Read the comments. Remember that guy at the bar?
Horrible whisper,
He's the guy at the bar. He's like, I'm gonna tell you a secret. I'll tell you a secret. You're like, did you say words?
He was like, what's his name, Barney? No, what's his name in Simpsons? The drunk one at the bar?
Barney. I think it's Barney. I think it's Barney.
That sounds right.
And so anyway, maybe we'll go over there and see what is inside Trump. You have to show them your Republican card to get in, but then they're going to check your ID and they're going to see you're from Florida, and then you got to, I don't know anything about that guy, Ron.
What does it taste like?
Anyway, don't do it. You're going to regret it for the rest of your life. Don't do it. But either way, if it is Wabash, I don't know. Maybe I pronounced it incorrectly. I hope I didn't butcher that completely. But anyway, I want to get to the more important topic and the reason, ultimately, hopefully, as to why you clicked to watch this video.
It's a strawberry milkshake with purple coloring.
It's not strawberry.
All right, stay with me here.
I'm here.
We have all seen the headlines and heard the stories, quite possibly incorrectly. However, Chicago is a terrible and dangerous place with high crime and even higher prices. The cost of living here is insane, particularly when it comes to homes, housing, condos, and pretty much all of other forms of real estate and real property, and just how unaffordable it is here to live, and why so many people are looking to leave Chicago, much like they're leaving Florida in droves, and moving outside of the city to a more affordable Illinois suburb or out of the state altogether.
Can I make a comment? The amount we paid for a 5-star hotel room is 1/4 of what it would. Yeah, you hate that. 1/4 of what it would cost to stay at a condo at the beach.
I don't know a lot of people, but I do know some people who have residence in Chicago, although not primary. It's secondary. They don't live here.
Which means it can't be that expensive, either that or they're, shitting out money.
But I think that's part of it.
Hey, money. How
I
about
think
this?
that's part of it. They want you to believe that America is broke.
So that's what I talked about on my video, which I wish it would hurry up and freaking upload. But so think about breakfast. We went to breakfast this morning at a place called Wild Berry. The wait was 45 minutes. We literally stood in sprinkles waiting to get in because I read reviews. They were absolutely amazing.
But then we talked to the cops.
That's in my video. You're going to need to watch that. But we ordered food, and what I ordered was $18, I think. And you're thinking that's a lot, right? There was so much
pretty.
food. I could have had 4 meals out of it. Huh? What'd you say? I don't know what you just said to me.
So she's pretty.
Okay. But there was so much food.
Oh, wait. Man, he's pretty. Yeah, the crop top. Sorry, I had one too many Bud Lights. Continue. I think that's actually how they got the men to be able to produce chest-feeding milk. Is they give them Bud Lights.
Still not feasible.
They give them Bud Light.
No. Continue with your little story.
Go ahead.
I did. I said what I want to say.
Oh, okay.
We had breakfast, and there was enough food there that we could have fed 6 people. The service was amazing. They gave you a ton of food for the money. Whereas in most places, $22, you're like, I'm still hungry. Like, however much it was, 18, 20.
No, it was definitely worth it.
It was worth the money. It was very good.
And then last night dinner.
And the amount of leftovers we had. Oh yeah, Giordano's.
Shout out to everybody who voted on the poll. You were right.
You were right.
Everyone who voted
so good.
and unanimous, like the heavily weighted towards Giordano.
This is why we can't live here, because we don't know how to say Italian. It's Italian. Starts with a G, ends with Giordano. It was so good. We have leftovers. I'm about to eat some cold pizza at midnight.
I don't want to rush this, but we are running out of time because we do have a reservation for dinner. We will walk.
At 6:30?
Yeah, we're going to walk. We're not going to take a boat. We're not going to take a pontoon.
Not today.
We're not going to... I want to walk. I want to humble myself because obviously I have this enormous ego and I need to try to tone it down.
Tone it down some. I did that stare yesterday too. I'm sorry.
And coming right up, shocking news.
Is that how it goes?
Trying to get more ads in the video.
Oh, okay, sorry. That's why.
All right.
I messed it up.
Where was I? I lost my spot. Don't write scripts, they're terrible. All right, so it seems that something is amiss. There are so many people here working and the economy is booming. Employment levels are high and so are the prices to support it. Literally, I think this can't get any better with seeing how many people are flooding in and out.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
Do you see a problem here?
No.
Do you see any vacant spaces here?
No.
Do you see any struggle to pay $6 for a bottle of water for They are lying to you.
Yep.
They are lying to you.
Yep.
And the worst part about it is it's not just mainstream media. It's these folks on these homesteads living in the backwoods country area somewhere, trying to pretend like they're super frugal or, living on a tight budget, not wanting you to know how much money they make off of YouTube videos and ad revenue. Like, look, if you guys want to get started, I'll show you how to do it.
Yeah.
Come on over, join the Patreon, for which we get paid for as you being a member, but the value is there. I'm just saying. So what's the deal? What is the deal? Everyone is always talking about the big problems in the city and other cities like Chicago, all around the country, warnings and alerts to brace for the coming crash and housing market bubble to pop, sending prices and people falling to their lowest in years. But guess what? It hasn't happened yet. And it isn't likely to happen anytime soon either, and I'm going to tell you exactly why.
Okay. I'm ready.
I'm trying not to read it like a script, but I can't help it. And this isn't limited to Chicago either. So stick around and smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to know the truth, as I only aim to inform and educate any and all who care to listen. And if you, ma'am, are listening, I already know by now you probably have given this video a thumbs down because you're the only one giving me thumbs down on my videos. Stick around, you may learn something, okay? All right, so And
I
also,
feel like chicks have picked fight with other YouTubers. We're not the first ones.
no,
Do you
you're
remember
right.
Doug?
I do remember. It's the only time I'm going to say it. She's a bitter bitch. That's it. Bitter. And all right. Side note: if you guys want to check out more of the travels and see more of Chicago and the other places that we have,
Scroll Trap.
and will visit, then make sure you go watch our other channels. I have links included in the description down
I showed
below.
really good stuff on Scroll Trap 2.0 today too.
Everything is good.
I know.
Everything is good.
I know.
It's just that, it
whole
doesn't
video was just like
necessarily
me being
always
excited
align
like a
with the
little puppy.
algorithm and the agenda and the narrative push.
Yeah.
Because we don't subscribe to it.
Yeah.
We don't subscribe to it. Like it's literally, I'm saying this city is booming.
Yes.
It's an economic boom town
Yes.
full of money.
Yes.
Just tons of money,
Yes.
right? And there ain't no farmland. There's no gardening. Now, we did come across some rooftop garden opportunities, but
Yeah.
it ain't gonna be enough to sustain life.
No.
Okay.
Maybe one life, but that's about it. You got to pick between you and your
And
family.
you gotta choose. Like, do I want to only eat tomatoes? Like, you ain't gonna have a full
Yeah.
smorgasbord.
Smorgasbord.
A horn of plenty. Was it cornucopia?
Cornucopia.
Cornucopia.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. So, at mid-year, Chicago area sales of the highest price homes were down by half compared to record-busting 2022. And economist calculations suggest that the extreme upper end of the market may end the year close to what passed for normal in the years prior to the pandemic-driven housing boom.
Now, can I make a point? You said how well they did in 2022, and then you said they're down half now. Well, of course they're going to be down half now if there aren't as many to sell. Do you know what I mean?
Half in consideration to how it escalated so quickly.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Meanwhile, downtown's office vacancy
Brown.
surge.
You said downtown, Julie. No.
Downtown's office vacancy surge hits new record high, and much like the rest of the world, downtown Chicago office landlords got to celebrate the end of the pandemic health emergency during the second quarter of 2023, but the fallout that they faced from the pandemic is still getting worse. The office vacancy rate in the Central Business District midway through the year ran up to almost 23%, an all-time high from a previous high just 3 months earlier. And according to data from the real estate services firm CBRE, the new share of available spaces is way up from last year, and the vacancy rate has hit a new record high. This means less people are working in the office buildings and more people are working from home, working remotely from anywhere around the world and entirely online. And this is a trend that's going to be slow to die, okay? Mm-hmm. This is the evolution of business. I've been talking about this for months. Now, Shark Tank investor, immigrant entrepreneur, and Bitcoin billionaire Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful,
Mr. Wonderful,
even said,
for those reasons, I'm out.
They ain't coming into the office, period, when challenging Elon Musk's immoral view on remote work. And like I said earlier, this isn't only isolated to Chicago either. Nope. Mm-hmm. Other cities like Seattle are still facing the reckoning from remote work, and according to the Federal Bureau of Labor Statistics, nearly 73% of businesses reported that their workers rarely or never engaged in remote work in 2022. But this minority of the civilian workforce working remotely casts a large shadow over our economy, especially central business districts like Chicago. And it has been estimated that nearly 50% occupancy as of late June, based on a 10-city average ranging from New York to LA, Los Angeles, and Houston, Texas, led at nearly 61% occupancy, whereas San Jose, California, in the heat of Silicon Valley, where remote work flourishes, was lowest at 38%. Estimates of remote work shaving 35% from the value of the U.S. office sector, in addition to predictions that many office buildings won't return to their previous peak values until maybe the year 2040 or later. Ooh. And as loans come due for commercial real estate properties, many cities face a reckoning. Refinancing is difficult with high interest rates, and in some cases, buildings are worth less than the land that they occupy. Foreclosures and defaults are beginning to rise, And what we should all be paying attention to and bracing for is the redistribution and the revamping of downtown business sectors and cities that are about to change shape and take on a whole new appearance very, very soon.
Okay.
Which means one thing, and it is blaring right now, or at least to me it is, but do you know what that is? Take a guess.
Tourism?
Okay, all right, I like that.
And then residential over commercial.
Okay, all right, I like that. Now, I will ask that you guys comment down below, what do you think is really being shared here? What is the underlying message that's happening with these office vacancies, right? With this remote work, okay? Comment down below and stick around to the end of the video. I'm gonna share my thoughts on it all, and let's see if we are on the same track. Now, we will cover this on a different video, and if you guys are interested in knowing more about how employment among people with disability hits its highest levels yet, because the remote work boom has helped so many people find additional flexibility, and it has also eliminated long-standing obstacles for what has been described as a vulnerable community, not to mention how remote work is prompting changes to disability laws, both good and bad, as well as the possible risks of remote work and how it can affect your physical health. So if these topics interest you, make sure you hit the like button and comment so I know that you're interested. I'll be sure to make those videos next. However, the boom of remote work is a huge plus for those who historically have been underserved because of disability.
Yeah, I would say the same thing.
All right, so we've covered a lot in this short amount of time, and I don't want to keep you because I know you have busy schedules and can't afford to sit and watch long, drawn-out YouTube videos all day. So let me just get to the point. Why is everybody leaving Chicago and other cities that are extremely expensive and described as unaffordable? Why?
Why are they leaving?
Yeah, why are they leaving?
Maybe the same reason why you and I left Atlanta, just for a change of scenery, try something new.
I like that. Anything else?
Maybe because of retirement and age and income at that point.
Why are so many people leaving? Everybody's leaving.
Because the end of their vacation.
Ooh, I like that. And the truth is, they're not leaving. They're not leaving. There really isn't much of an incentive to do so, at least not right now. Not yet, at least. And to be quite honest with you, a lot of what these other channels and mainstream media are telling you isn't true for the most part. But the new mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson, wants to enforce, I need you to listen to this, he wants to enforce and sign into law a new mansion tax to follow in Los Angeles' footsteps. Mansion tax. These real estate proposals include big bumps and transfer taxes on sales of at least $1 million.
Okay.
Claims that these new taxes will help to address racial and economic inequality in the city by imposing tax that would more than triple real estate transfer taxes on property sales of more than $1 million.
So what you're saying is the people who have the ability to go out and buy higher priced homes will then be the only ones who are penalized for having the ability to buy these higher priced homes. So
what would that in turn make them want to do?
Not buy them.
Or not sell them.
Or not sell them.
Because the tax affects the seller.
Oh, everything's going to be $999,999.
Now, this has been released by Brandon's team, that this 223-page report that outlined an agenda after having beaten...
You said Brandon's team?
It's different Brandon.
Okay.
After he had beat Paul Vallis, who made public safety his key focus. All right, public safety was his key focus and overwhelmingly favored by real estate and business interests, but ultimately lost the election to replace the previous mayor, Lori Lightfoot. This is what we talked about before. Misleading the voters. All right, think about it. A majority of these voters probably never stand a chance at buying a $1 million property.
Very true.
Yet they saw it as a perk and a plus to
inflict pain on those
equality, okay, and inclusion. Although they don't realize just how bad this is going to screw them in the long run. Okay,
because then it brings down property values and things like that.
it creates resentment, and those who have the ability to make $1 million+ transactions control this economy.
So then they're going to find ways to push out the ones who can't afford the $1 million.
Or they're going to recoup their loss.
Yeah.
You want to charge me 3 times more tax to sell my property here?
I'm going to charge you 3 times more whatever at my store over here.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the report provides an extensive look at measure that could affect real estate investors in the nation's 3rd most populous city, including proposed moves toward clean energy, creation of significantly more affordable housing, and a potential attempt to revive a so-called mansion tax on sales of homes and commercial real estate of $1 million or more. This includes commercial real estate.
Oh.
This includes commercial real estate.
Oh.
And the report stated that we have conflicting narratives about our city's economic reality, and that parts of the city have thriving global corporations while other areas struggle with basic services, and that steps could be taken to close the financial disparity. But if you're penalizing the people who have the ability to bring the basic services to these affected areas, these underserved areas, what incentive do they have to do that? None. Now, here's the thing. I have my own opinions on this and other statements made by these elected officials and their so-called good intentions to create diversity and inclusion, but I'm not going to get started on that in this video because then we would be here all day.
Yeah.
But what I can tell you is that it doesn't work and it will not work. And I would be pleasantly surprised and happy to be proven wrong, but there are some basic fundamentals behind it all that will prevent progress, create loopholes, and further widen the divide. You back the wealthy into a corner, they figure out a way out.
Yeah.
They have resources.
Or they go somewhere where they're not backed into a corner.
They will, yes, but they still maintain and retain control, and ultimately they'll say, you know what, I won't sell my property.
And now you just have a bunch of vacant buildings sitting there.
No, not vacant. They're not vacant. Now the office buildings is a different story. The commercial real estate, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But the biggest problem that a lot of people are complaining about is the affordable housing and the shortage of supply of single family homes and things like that. They're going to gobble that shit up.
Yeah.
Okay. And what they'll do is they'll find ways to diversify ways in which ownership can be achieved and accomplished without actually selling through the traditional measures, and loophole this mansion tax.
That's what I was going to say, loophole it, because if you have something and you say, okay, well, this building now has 4 parts to it, I'm going to sell it to 4 different whatevers, same person in the long run, but now you've been able to sell it for $250.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, I'm not going to go down that road because we got to go for this reservation. But if you guys do want to go down that rabbit hole, then make sure you check out me on both of us really on Patreon. There's a link in the description. Yet this is all a part of the overall big picture that all of these people, or at least 99% of the people who are trapped here and in other cities like Chicago, they are trapped, but in a good way, sort of. And it's because of the golden handcuffs that we talked about on previous videos. This has locked up Illinois' housing supply, and pretty much housing supply all over the country, if I'm going to be frank.
I'd rather you be Kevin. I don't really like the name Frank. It's
a little bit of role play action.
Stuffy.
So 9 in 10 Illinois homeowners with mortgages have a rate below 6%, 90%, locking them in place and leaving buyers with few homes to choose from, according to Redfin.
Yeah.
And why does this matter?
Because if they don't want to lose their rate, they're not going to sell, which means nobody can buy.
Exactly. This matters because homeowners are experiencing the golden handcuffs, a phenomenon where they might have a great mortgage interest rate now, but likely can't move without spending a lot more cash.
Yeah.
Redfin data reports there were fewer homes on the state's market in June than at any other time in recent history, and nearly a quarter of Illinois homeowners with mortgages, 25%, had a rate below 3%.
Well, that's because now, I mean, it hasn't been this high since what, the mid 80s or something, and most of the people.
I talked to Stephen Gardner, and he told me like either his parents or somebody he was talking to said they had a rate of like 21%.
From
and
the
they
80s.
put like over 30% down, like crazy numbers.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because I told him, I said, there was a time when people were encouraged to be financially responsible and hurry up and pay off their debts.
Yeah.
Whereas today, they're not. They're
Yeah.
incentivized to put as little money down, pay the highest interest rate for the longest term,
Yeah, and hold your money as
and
long as
never,
possible.
ever get out of debt.
Yeah.
While 38% of mortgage holders had a rate between 3% and 4%, and homeowners have gone on record saying things like they have no plans to sell their place after refinancing to a sub 3% interest rate in 2020. And adding that if they decided to move, then they would just rent it out.
Well, yeah, because you don't want to lose that interest rate. You know what I mean? And the people who...
Or the equity. You got the interest rate and the
You got the
equity.
equity in there. And then plus you got to think about it. For the people who can go rent something that has a lower interest rate, maybe they can get a lower rent price at that house than they can somewhere else. People who have that interest rate and want to rent out, it would be very smart of them, behoove them to have the lower rent rate so they can for sure keep somebody in there or get somebody in there. And because it is a lower rent rate, they're probably going to do what's right and correct to stay in there. And you're still making more money than if you weren't renting it out.
It's a simple concept of supply and demand.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you undervalue your
Like
rent,
all in the picture. Never mind.
if you
I'm sitting there
undervalue
like cute
your
little-
rent price
Uh-huh.
and maintain a high level of credentials for applicants, then you can ensure that you maintain a high level tenant because they know the value of what they could lose that they could never get anywhere else.
Yeah.
As the landlord, as the investor, yeah, you're not going to make the most money, but you're going to make good, consistent money.
True.
And this is the difference in investing. Again, time in the market versus timing the market. And I would much rather have a long-term tenant, maybe even a lifelong tenant, that's going to continuously pay on time with modest increases than having to evict. Having to, because eviction costs a lot of money and time.
Yeah. I'm just noticing how this person is trying to cram their paper bag of stuff into the one that says bottles and cans only. Just crammed his whole entire McDonald's
Most people
bag.
do not pay attention. They don't read.
Yeah.
They're oblivious to the fact of everything going on around them.
Maybe there's no English there. I don't know, but those the girls that were just behind us, one of them went around. They all realized we were recording. One of them goes, "Oh shit!" I'm like, "Is she on the lam?" Like she was like, "Oh no."
She's witness protection.
Yeah.
Now, I know that there is a discussion to be had about all these homes and affordable housing options being controlled by landlords and investors, forcing the rest of the world to pay rent. And this includes institutional, multi-million, and multi-billion, billion with a B, billion-dollar hedge funds and portfolios coming in like BlackRock to buy, hold, and never sell, and ultimately control everything. So make sure that you guys subscribe and have your alerts and notifications turned on so you don't miss that video when I publish it live for you all to see. So just to wrap all this up in this video, as I promised, I would answer the question I asked earlier about the obvious signs that are standing out to me right now and the next big move that everyone is preparing for. What's the next big move? You said, you don't remember what you said.
The next big move is to go more residential.
Okay. All right. Here's my guess.
Okay.
And I would be willing to go all in on remote work and working remotely.
Yeah.
As the current decline in corporate and central business real estate continues to become a much larger problem for property managers, real estate investment trusts, REITs, banks, and mortgage lenders. The consumer-based and single-family real estate markets are going to continue to hold steady and more than likely continue to rise in price. Their values are going to continue to appreciate, and the owners and investors in these assets will be able to maintain their positions by having the ability to continue to drive their income whilst still working from anywhere they want, as long as they have a solid internet connection and can keep track of the differences in time zones.
That's the kicker difference that everybody's doing.
Stephen Gardner, he told me today, he says, I'm thinking about going to Puerto Rico for a month. He goes, as long as I can, as long as I have access to the internet, I'm good.
Yeah, very true. Just don't go to Pigeon Forge.
He was more concerned about his wife and the kids and them being away from their lives for a month than him.
Yeah.
So ultimately, what I expect to see is a huge spike in Rolex GMT Master 2 sales going up in value In addition, while we are on the topic of asset appreciation, it only makes sense. Get a watch that has multiple time zones.
Yeah.
However, owners are not motivated, nor are they enticed or incentivized or even required to relinquish their stake in one of the best wealth building producing asset investments in modern history either. Not with the lowest interest rates ever locked in on for some for 30 years, and now new taxes making it even more costly for property to be listed for sale, go under contract, and transactions to be completed. It honestly just seems very simple to me, very clear. But it's my guess. It's my guess. Real estate is going to be locked up. The owners of this real estate are going to continue to make profit, make bank. They're going to continue to make their rent from the tenants that they put in place. And then the jobs that they had or have will be remote. These corporate office buildings, these desk jobs, they're no more. Everybody's going online.
I agree. There are some things, though, that I think will still require going into the office and a desk, but not everything.
You can even now have a doctor's visit through your phone through an app.
Yes.
Okay? So here's the deal. I expect to continue to see more lies. I expect to continue to see more half-truths told about the coming doom and this potential collapse of the real estate market and all other markets for that matter. But I will continue to choose the path of logic, the path of intelligence and knowledge and basic principles of economies of scale, and follow the true indicators of what is not only likely to come in the future, but what is essentially happening right now already, right in front of our eyes. And if we just care to open them and see it for what it really is, then things could actually potentially be easier for us.
I agree.
But thank you guys for watching. Please like this video if you made it this far. Subscribe to the channel. Check out our free links in the description. We got to run. We got some souvenir shopping to do, and we still got to make this trek to make our dinner reservation. Until next time, you guys take care. Be safe. See you soon. Bye.